All right. Before we start, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Rachach. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all Beit Akim. Wakwatim, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. And this is going to be another video. And this mainly dealing with what the image of the beast is mentioned in Revelation. All right. And this is doing this based off of I had saw the Good Samaritans. You know, the three, or I'll say the four, or no, the three, the fourth one doesn't exist, but the three crack children that used to be here in the Detroit camp, they did a video recently, you know, because it takes them once in every 3 years to do a video like Solomon's Journey, but they did a video saying that the image of the beast is the AI, alright, and that's incorrect. You know, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we have the correct understanding through our apostles and our elders, alright, and through these scriptures. So we just going in. I'm gonna start real quick. Or that you at it?
Yep.
Revelation 13 started 14.
Okay, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the...
Oh, you know what? Slack. I had you started 14?
Yes.
Started 13, Slack.
Okay, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Okay.
And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
So this is talking about that beast. It's getting the understanding. All the things that Esau, his technologies, all the things that we use in our day-to-day society that we didn't have back then, that people love and are attached to.
By the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Yep, those some of those miracles: cars, internet, cell phones, airplanes, damn jets, things as such, microwaves, all that.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Okay, you keep going. So, or that right there. Now, this is one key component to knowing what the actual image is, because we know that the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, whether those that want to believe it or not. But now this is the image. All right. So, but keep that in mind. At the end of verse 14, it says, "In the image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live." So whatever this image was, at one point, this image of the beast used to exist, and it was wounded. We'll just say it was destroyed. All right, and now in the latter times, it did live. It is back. So keep going. 15.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
So right there. So now we know what the image of the beast has power, and it has the ability to do things. All right. So the so-called AI is not the image of the beast. All right. An AI does not have the ability to do things. A man has to be behind it. All right. And that image of the beast is today is basically this new Roman system, which you would call the New World Order, or the same way that ancient Rome was built and set and established and ran. It is back now. That's the same way that America is ran, or really the whole world, by the elite bankers. All right, that's what the image of the beast is. This new Roman system. It's not a fucking AI, and the main proof of that is the fact that an AI the AI wasn't wounded years ago, all right, or we'll say a couple thousand years ago. But who was? Rome was wounded. The ancient Rome fell. Ancient Rome collapsed, and it's back here now through the reincarnation through these goddamn devils. All right, and now if we wanted to, we could just close the scriptures and hit the end of the damn button. But we're gonna go through line upon line, precept upon precept. So actually, I'm going to have you jump back to verse 12 now and read it.
Okay, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
And that being another key point, the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. So whatever the image was, it used to be around, it got wounded, and now it is back. This is one key component to knowing what the image of the beast is. So can you get 1 Maccabees 8, and I believe it's 14. Let me double check. And this in the scriptures. Now this is also how we know, because the scriptures always, there's a precept for everything, and this also helps prove it. These First Maccabees. I'm just double checking real quick. A lot. 8 and yep, started 14. Yep. Now, or I'm gonna just let you read. Yep, you got it.
Okay, this is the book of First Maccabees.
You know what? Salak. Start at verse 1. Then we're gonna jump Salak.
Okay, this is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 8 and verse 1. Now Judas had heard of the fame of the Romans, that they were mighty and valiant men, and such as would lovingly accept all that joined themselves unto them.
So then you can jump. So this lets you know that the people that this is talking about is the Romans, because at this time in history, during the Maccabees, we were mainly under the Greeks. The Greeks were the ones that was whooping our heads in, kicking our heads, and you had Antiochus, who was destroying us and spoiling us, stripping us of our heritage, all this and that. Then you had all his, all the different people, the heathens rising up and whooping on us. And this was right when the Roman Empire was rising up, right before they started taking us and mistreating us. This is because when you keep reading on in the Maccabees, you see that Judas had made treaties and covenants with the Romans, because they were basically a new faction. They were a new group of people. And they were going around, having people assimilate. And they came to Maccabees with honor, taking them in. But now you can read 14.
Okay, Khan, this is First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 14.
Now this is describing how the Romans were.
Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house, wherein 320 men sat in council daily, consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered.
So we're going to stop right there. No, so that right there, that's one thing that the first image, all right, that's one way that they used to govern themselves. It says what? It says, moreover, they had for themselves a senate house. All right. Now, what does that sound like today? What other government do you know of that that's very similar? All right, that has a house, a body. It says what? Consulting away for the people, to the end that they might be well ordered. What other country has a group of people that's doing this, doing that, signing this, signing that, passing papers around, pulling strings here, pulling strings there? They all have to be in agreement, raising their hand, doing votes. Aye. Who lift your hand and agree? Aye. All that shit. Who else does that sound like? All right, and that's today. That's back today. That's how America is ruled. When you look around, you have, and I forget, I want to say it's 420 members in the House of Representatives today. So it's a little bit over 300, but you got the House of Representatives, all right, Congress, you have, well, really just the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. All right, it's the same thing. Different systems of people ruling over the country. And verse 16 seals it.
Khan. And that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation amongst them.
And now, what does that sound like today? All right, that's your modern day president. Back then, it would have been one king, and he had to go to his councilman to be able to make his moves, and it's the same thing today. All right, it's the same exact thing today. That's what the image of the beast does. That is the image that was wounded when Rome fell, when their king fell, when their counselors fell. I forget the specific word that they used to use back then for the men that were under the king, but that were still calling the shots, basically. But it's the same thing now. And also, when you go back in verse 14, it says, "Yet for all this, none of them wore a crown or was clothed in purple to be magnified thereby." When you look at those people that's running this system, all of them wear the same type of uniform, just business suits. The president doesn't wear a crown. The president doesn't wear some sort of outstanding gear to mark himself as the main leader. If you line the president up with his vice president, with a damn senator from here or a mayor from there, they all gonna be looking identical. They all gonna be in business suits, showing you this is that same. This is what the image is, not an AI, not an object that didn't exist those thousands of years ago. How could an AI have been wounded thousands of years ago when it was not yet in existence? All right, and this is mainly addressed to the so-called Good Samaritans, the ex-Great Millstone dudes that fell out of here. But this goes for anyone out there. If you don't know because we have to know what the mark of the beast is, more importantly, but we also have to know what the image of the beast is. All right, and the mark of the beast is the RFID chip, and the image is this reborn Roman system, aka the New World Order. All right, how things are ran today. And so now, could you get a Daniel 2 and start at 40.
God. This is Salakia. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 40. "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, for as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all there, shall it break in pieces and bruise."
So this was the Roman kingdom. All right, this was at the this was the Roman. When you had Daniel, he interpreted the vision of Nebuchadnezzar. All right, this specifically because in verse 33 it tells you his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. These are the legs of iron representing the Roman kingdom, the kingdom that was the main ruler right before the final kingdom. We keep going.
Verse 41. "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with mire clay."
So we know that iron represents Rome, and that last kingdom, which is mixed with iron and miry clay, represents the final kingdoms now, mainly here in America, under Esau, Edom. All right, this is another way to know what the image of the beast is, because this kingdom is still, it's miry clay, but it still has traces of that iron in it, which that iron goes back to the legs. That iron, the iron legs didn't make it. All right, it got beaten down. They fell. Rome fell. Great. What they say well, that's Greek. Opa, fire, and that's Greek, but I don't know. There's a certain chant they have for Rome.
Oh, okay, I don't know.
There's a certain chant, but all that shit dissimulated. Eventually, that iron went down, but a little bit of it is still remaining here in this last kingdom. That's why Esau, the so-called white man, is living and acting the same exact way as he was in ancient Rome. What was he doing? He has his army extended throughout all the world, too far extended to where if there is an immediate attack on their homeland, they couldn't even get back in enough time to set up a proper defense. There's nothing but lewdness and fucking fornication in the land, women being men, men being women, women being promiscuous, men being homosexuals. Very soon here, children are going to be allowed to participate in sexual activity. All right. What else? A weakening monetary system that is no more held up at the top of the world. These are all the things that old iron was doing that this new mixed iron is doing. This is another way to know what that image is. That old beast that was wounded did live and is back living now. It's not an AI. It's not I don't know what IUIC has to say about the image of the beast. I don't know what IUSPK has to say about the image. It's not anything else. All right? You can finish it 42.
Khan.
Or just start at 42 again.
Okay, Khan. Verse 42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Verse 42.
Khan, yep, right there.
Okay,
Khan.
Khan.
So what does it say? What does it say? And the feet were part iron and part clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. Khan. All right, partly strong because it still carries on with some of those old ways, but what does it say? Partly broken because it can't maintain. If you fall in the steps of a motherfucker that fell off a cliff, eventually you gonna fall off the cliff too. You might have a fun way going up there, but when it's time to make that jump, you're gonna go down the same way. That's why America's declining in the exact same way. And if you go and study Rome, you go look at how it went down. All you gotta do is get on YouTube, watch a 10-minute clip, type in the fall of Rome.
Yep.
Type in the fall of Rome and then hit America or something. You'll see everything that was happening back then is happening now here in this kingdom. All right, this is how we know what the image of the beast is. All right, so that was it. All right, unless you had something, unless you want to say something.
No, that was...
That was it. It's straight to it. You don't gotta go all lay down the green screen and pull up pictures of Johnny Depp playing the AI and all that baloney.
Straight to the point.
So with that, we're going to give all praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem,
Ba'ashem,
Ruach the honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace, blessings, and salutations to all elect Akim, walk with them, learning, teaching, and truth and sincerity. And with that, we're going to say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we hope it was edifying.